Hey, it's Osman with House Einstein. I'm outside 1031 Portland Place doing a quick client preview. Clients are pretty busy people and I happen to be in the neighborhood, so I thought I'd drop by and take a look at this unit and do a quick video tour for them. Here's what the complex looks like from the street. It's a historic single-family home that had a substantial addition of multifamily, 10 units of multifamily added on. Overall, pretty darn good location with respect to walkability to downtown and easy access to Broadway to get on the skip. So the interesting thing about the outside of this complex is that at one point it was a single-family house, and then the owner decided to go ahead and add on this multifamily complex to the single-family house. So I think there are 9 units in here. There could be more. Nope, it looks like the numbers go up to at least 10. And you never see the outside. Typically, you don't see the outside in the listing photos. You usually just see the interior shots. And this particular unit, Unit 2, is pretty nice. But it doesn't change the fact that it has off-street parking, and maybe it has a reserve spot if there's a lot in the back, but it's pretty tight. And there's the original historic home, and you can see how the addition was kind of chunked onto it at some point in time, adding on 10 living units at the corner of 10th and Portland Place. I think there is one reserved spot that goes with the unit. Yeah. And Unit 2 at least opens from the little courtyard area. Some of these units open directly into the parking lot itself, which enters quite abruptly. But I mean, it's a lot of housing units on what was at some point likely just a single-family lot. And that more or less sums up 1031 Portland Place. Some of the units on the backside, actually, I think they're all townhome style. I was going to say some of the units on the backside are townhome style, but now that I think about all the different ones I've seen over the years, I'm pretty sure they're all townhome style, which means living room and kitchen on the main when you walk in, and then the bedrooms on the upper level. Decent finishes in the bath. Actually, decent finishes throughout. Bedrooms are a little bit on the small size, but this is a queen-size bed, and there's space to walk around, but really no space for a dresser. Although I guess you could park one in that back corner. And then the larger bedroom, actually they're about the same. No, this is larger. It has this little alcove area where you could put a dresser pretty easily. You'd want something that doesn't block the register. Decent sized closets, that's adequate. Windows are looking a little bit older, but they are double pane. So get that to focus. They are double pane, but every time the owner of that driveway pulls in, they're going to splash lights on your windows, which is why there's a blackout curtain. I mean, nice fixtures and decent finishes throughout this unit, but it is tight, and for anybody that's concerned with security, it would be really easy to break in, given the garden level entrance, the location, and the sliding glass doors to the back patio, where you can pretty easily see the doorway into the little patio area. But it is a nice unit inside. It's just tidy, and tidy being it's all very small. It would be much more like what you would see in a European apartment, a flat, perfectly functional, small is beautiful kind of philosophy. But decent sized pantry, combo laundry room. And that's about it on the inside. Okay, let's give this an Osmond score. From a location perspective, it's between Mapleton and Newlands, so you have easy access to great shopping, restaurants, grocery, coffee and bars, plus the skip is a block or so away, so I'm gonna give that a 7 out of 10. Features: there's a fireplace, there's a little patio, I would say that's about average, 5 out of 10. Curb appeal: the property is unusual. It's a historic house that has a high density building attached to it with 10 units. That single family house plus the high density kind of looks like Frankenhouse. And this particular unit is exposed to the driveway, so I'm giving it a 3 out of 10. Layout and design: this is a classic townhome. It's what buyers expect to see when you say the word townhome as you walk in the door. So I'm going to give that a 5 out of 10. Finishes: boy, this property is actually nicely finished. I'm going to say it's solid and give it a 7 out of 10. Some of the fixtures and finishes in the baths might be Home Depot grade, but it's still tasteful and current, so I think it earned its 7 out of 10. Storage: well, you get a little bit of a larger pantry that's doubling as a laundry room. There's a closet under the stairs, and then there's that reserved parking spot, but that's about it. And given that it's only 850 or so square feet, it's pretty darn tiny, so I'm going to give this a 3 out of 10. You're going to be hauling in your bicycles, your camping gear, your skis, everything goes inside, and frankly, there's really no place to put it all. Energy efficiency: it's an 80s era townhome, and it has double pane windows, but no other disclosed green features. 80s era is a lot better than the decades before, and townhomes are pretty efficient designs, so I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Deferred maintenance: on my tour, the one thing that stood out are the windows. They look like they're nearing the end of their life, and they're probably original to the 80s. I didn't actually take a look at the mechanicals inside the house, but it probably has its own furnace. That's something that you'll have to take a closer look at on inspection. And as I walked around the complex, I noticed some grading issues, especially as they approach this particular unit coming down those steps. It looks like it's sloped toward the foundation. And of course, that's a cost shared by everyone, but it's something, everyone in the HOA, but that's something to keep in mind. So I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. And from a value perspective, this one's a little tricky. So at $525,000 or $625 per square, that seems priced a little bit high. The real value is probably closer to 500, maybe 510, and the seller hasn't even owned it a year. They paid 481 in a bidding war last year in I think it was February. So it's tough to say that 525 seems like a value play, but if you compare it to newer build luxury condos that are really only a few blocks away, some of those can approach 1,000 per square foot. So I'm going to give this a 4 out of 10. And from an investment potential perspective, if you're betting on downtown, historically that's been a great bet, and it likely will continue to be a great bet going forward. So I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10 for investment potential, and that gives us a total Osmond score of 56 out of 100.